Hello. This is a weird first. This is my first time doing this, so forgive me. But I've been putting this off for a while. Um, it's just I wanted to come on here or just talk to anybody about what's been going on recently, you know. And I don't really have anybody to, vent like the whole spiel to, without like them, without like me feeling like I'm annoying them. So thought I'd come on here and just do my thing. So it's gonna like it's gonna be a long video, and I'm probably not gonna edit this either because I'm not doing all that. So y'all are gonna get like the raw cut. So basically, me and like my girl Abby, we broke up after being together for like about a year and a half. I'd say, yeah, it was about a year and a half. It was from 2023 September, and then we broke up 2024 December. It's not a year and a half actually. It's like a year and a couple months, but you get the point. But I'm gonna cut to the chase and just give y'all everything. She cheated on me, and I know I should hate her and stuff, but I really don't. And I just think it's like really weird. Like I think I should hate her, and I think like that's what everybody else is saying too. Like like all my homeboys are like, oh man, just forget about her. Like she wasn't shit anyways. Blah blah blah. And I don't know. I don't feel the same, and I feel like I should. And I don't think anybody like understands. So I'm gonna give y'all our entire lower drop. But basically, we got together beginning of freshman year in high school. But we've had history before. So at the end of 8th grade, I dated a girl named Sophia, and Abby actually put me and Sophia on, like, it's like middle school shit. It wasn't nothing serious between me and Sophia. We dated for a couple months, we did our thing, blah blah blah, and then we broke up like the last day of 8th grade. And then that summer, I had like my Bob Bear I rode around and shit. And I know it's supposed to be like a serious like kind of video, but I'm a cuss, blah blah blah. So if you don't fuck with that, I'm fuck with my bad. But holy shit, I look chopped. Anyways, so that summer I had my little bop era, and like I did my thing, and then after that summer, okay, there's like it's a detail, like doesn't really matter, but that summer I got like so much acne, like I started getting acne, my butt teeth, I'm so chopped, but my butt teeth. My acne, I started getting acne that summer. It'll make sense later. I started getting acne that summer, and it was like my biggest insecurity for like so long. Like my acne was bad. Like people had it worse, but mine was pretty bad. Cause mind you, before that I never had acne. I had perfect skin, but then I got acne that summer. Still dealing with it a bit, but it's way better. But anyways, after that summer, I start freshman year, and this girl, she sends me our first interaction, like we've had interaction, but like our first actual interaction, she sends me a picture of me like standing, like the way our school is. When you walk in, there's the front office, and then there's like an open area with the second story and the first story where you can look down from the second story. So I think one day I walk into school like freshman year, and I skipped first period because like I just didn't wake up for it, and I walk in, and it's just like ankle yellow. I'm sorry, I look so chopped. It's like but I walk in, and I like stop at the student service window, like the front office thing, for whatever reason. I think I forgot my ID that day or something, and she takes a picture of me from the second story and says "God," like bro, what? It sounds like childish and shit. I know, but it was cute, right? So I was like, lol, blah blah blah, who's that? And like we just started talking a bit. And at our school, homecoming is around October, and the school year starts at August. So, you know, like at that point, people already like start talking about homecoming, blah blah blah. So, we're just chatting for a bit, and um, we're just chatting. I'm trying to remember my bad. I didn't prepare for this at all. I needed somebody to talk to, so just let all this shit out. But and this is what August 2025 now. August 2023. Yeah, this would be August 2023 when we started chatting for the first time. And then so we're just talking, right? We're like kind of like not like talking but like just she'll DM me every once in a while, and I'll hit her back, blah blah blah. And then we start talking more and more, and I'm like, oh, I'm really feeling this girl, but like, where do I know her from? Because I didn't recognize her at first, right? Because I never actually like I talked to her when she put me on with Sophia. I talked to her, but we weren't like conversating, so I didn't recognize her at first. And then, we started chatting more. She was like, oh, by the way, do you remember me from 8th grade? I'm like, no, should I? And she was like, it's me, Abby. Like, I put you and Sophia on. I was like, oh, it is you. And, so we're just talking a bit more. And before me, she was with this guy named Josh. And we're sophomores, and he's a junior. And she liked Josh a lot. And to my understanding, it wasn't their first time being together, like before me. She liked Josh a lot. So, I understand that, right? It's hard getting over an ex sometimes. Like, I'm going through it right now. That's why I'm making this. So, I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I get it. Feelings don't just disappear overnight. So, we're just talking some more, and then our homecoming was on October 20th. Either 20th or the 21st, whichever day was a Friday in that week. I don't remember exactly. And so we're talking a lot, and it gets to the point where, like, I should probably ask her out, or she asked me out, or something like that. And mind you, in 8th grade, I was chopped. I was, like, actually, like, I was ugly. Like, I didn't know how to talk to a female, and then I got with Sophia. That was, like, my first taste of a relationship. So, and with Sophia, I didn't even, like, really ask her out. We just like, started talking. So, I had no idea how to ask her out, dude. Literally, we were talking about it one day, and she had to drag me to her to, like, ask her out. Not like that, but, like, we were, like, DMing on Instagram, and she was like, so, are you gonna ask me out anytime soon? Like, are we gonna be together? Because I'm not asking you out. Like, she said that. Because I'm not asking you out because I'm a girl, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, soon. Because, like, I was stalling because I did not know how to ask her out. And I remember the text I sent. I have a screenshot of it. You know what? Let's see if I can pull up the screenshot. That'll be even better. I don't want to take crazy long, but I think I have it in my favorites if y'all are lucky. Come on. Where's it at? Never mind. I have no idea. Ooh. Never mind. Can't find it. Anyways, I remember what I said. Don't worry. So we were talking, and I was like, okay, here we go. I was like, here it goes. Abby, do you wanna maybe go to the movies later or some shit and, like, be my girlfriend or something like that, right? Obviously, she said yes. If I was her, I probably wouldn't, because what the fuck was that? Because that was literally my first time ever asking anybody out. And it's still the only time I've asked anybody out, because I've been with her. Or, like, I was with her. And she was like, yeah, blah, 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 whatever. I mean, no, she didn't say whatever. She was like, yeah, of course. And from September, I remember homecoming was on October. I'm not too good with my months, so y'all tell me how long this is. From September up until like bef- before homecoming, like homecoming was on Friday of that week, up until like that Tuesday, we were like really good, right? Like we were like really, like new relationship high, 3 month rule, whatever. We were like really good. That was like, we were like, I know I keep saying it, but like we were really good. And you'll see like later in this relationship we had lots of ups and downs, but this part was definitely an up. And then I remember, so we were good. We kissed for the first time like a couple of days. And freshman year I played football, so it's gonna sound corny, I swear, but freshman year I played football, and I remember we kissed. I'll pull up the date because I know I have it in my favorites. This I know I have, don't worry. And I'll pull it up real quick. Or not, actually. But no, y'all are gonna be here, don't worry. I'm gonna pull it up. I have a picture, I remember. Anyways, I know this isn't like the typical video, but y'all gonna have to bear with me. Not gonna lie. Okay, found it. We kissed on. No, never mind. Did not find it. No shit. Oh no, I found it. We kissed on September. So mind you, we got together on September 12th. September 12th, 2023. I asked her out. September 14th, 2023. I have a football game, and it's like at school, right? And I have something coming for this. Don't worry. And my bad. Those were really good times. September 14th, September 14th, 2023, I had a football game. I was, not gonna lie, I was buns. I was not getting any playing time at all. I was actually horrible. That was my first time ever playing football. Like, again, I was like a fat, chubby, like, ugly kid, all like up until end of 8th grade, I'd say. So I never played football, no sports, or nothing like that. And I moved to this, like, school and, like, these people, like, 7th grade, so I didn't grow up with them or nothing. I don't really know. You know how it is. And September 14th, our game, we didn't have to go to, like, we had to skip 5th and 6th period, I believe. So I'm like walking out like to the doors after 4th period, and she's like walking me to the doors, and we're just like walking, and we get to like the actual door, right? And mind you, she's like hella late for 5th period because she's like 7-8 minutes late for 5th period at this point, because we're like walking slowly up to like the gates because I'm not finna see her like for the rest of the day, blah blah blah. And when we get to the door, she was like, "Give me a kiss," like points to her lips, and I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And we kiss, and that was my second kiss like ever. Not like second person I kiss. That was just my second kiss. I had my first kiss with like some bop in my 8th grade summer. I regret that too. I shouldn't have. I should have saved it for somebody I really cared about, but it is what it is. But yeah, we had our first kiss that in the hallway. I know, at school. Yeah, in the hallway 2 days after we get together, and I remember, like, in that moment, I was just so happy. It was like nothing else mattered in that moment, right? Like, fuck the football game, fuck everything. Like, in that case, it was so nice. And we've had thousands of kisses from 1,000, hundreds of kisses after that, you know? And I swear, none of them ever felt the same as that one, like, ever again. And it sounds corny, like, literally, but it was to this point, like, how bad it was. I hadn't gotten PT that entire season until that game. And I remember I go to maybe I shouldn't say it, but we had a game against Austin High School on September 14th. 20, 2023. Oh my gosh. 2023. And that was the first day I got playing time. Mind you, I was a fucking, what did I even play? I was a corner. I did not, no, I didn't do good at all. But it was my first time on the field in the game. And I remember thinking, like, oh my god, like, today's so amazing. I got my first taste of PT. Me and Abby had our first kiss, and it was just so great. And here, I have something to show you now. So, she didn't give me this, like, right after, but I think for our, like, 8 or 9 months, she made me this. I still have it up. I haven't had the guts to take it down. She drew me. Oh gosh, you can't see that. Oh, can you? Oh, maybe if I like. Yeah, she drew me this. If you can't tell, that's like. I want to show you. No, wait. Oh my god, I really want to show you guys. That's me, and that's her, and that's like our exact. That's like our exact hand placement and everything. That's like the hallway where we kissed. And she drew me this. And I remember this was like, by far, even to this day, this is the best gift she's ever given me for, because she used to make me something like for all of our months. I think she missed like 1 or 2 maybe. And we had like a whole thing for our 1 year and everything. But my bad. This is by far my favorite thing she's ever given me. It's like one of my favorite moments. Just like she drew it, and I can't draw for anything. So if anybody like draws remotely good, like I'm gonna like appreciate it a lot, because I cannot draw. Like my stick figures look bad. And anyways, where was I? Yeah, we had our first kiss. And, you know, things were good, and I was super shy, right? Because, you know, I really like this girl, and this is like my first, because with Sophia, it wasn't like anything serious, it was just like some middle school bullshit, right? And with Abby, it was like, oh my god, I really like this girl, like for real. And like, I don't want to mess anything up, I don't want to make her uncomfortable. So like those first like couple months, dude, I swear, I was scared to like touch her. She had to like force me to hold it. Like, that sounds bad, but like, she's like to take my hand and hold it, because I'd just be so scared to hold her hand, because like, oh, what if she doesn't want to hold hands, and I'd just like force that on her, and like I'd be like a jackass. And I remember I literally I don't think I did this after we started dating, but like the period while we were talking before we started dating, I used to avoid her in the hallways because I was so scared to talk to her, because you know, she was so pretty. And I was literally so scared to talk to her, dude. Like, walking up to her was like the scariest thing to me, like at that time. And she noticed it once, because I looked at her and then I just kept on walking. And when she DM'd me about it after, she was like, oh, are you mad at me? Like, I was like, no, I didn't even see. I tried lying. It did not work. I was like, oh, I didn't even see you, my bad. She was like, girl, you made eye contact with me. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I was just kind of scared, I'm not gonna lie. She was like, oh. But good times. I need water. My bad. Water break. Where all my fucking water, bro? Anyways, but and those were really good times, yeah. Anyways, and then we get to the first nitty gritty of it, the first down. So far it's been an up, right? We get to the first down. So I'd say Hoka was on Friday. I'd say like the Sunday before that Friday, she starts acting a bit off. Like, I'm like, you know, like we were like really good. So we were texting all the time. She was happy, laughing, blah, blah, blah. And I start to notice, like, she's not fully here with me. She's, you know, she's staring at a wall, kind of. And she's not like being like, she's not laughing as much. She's being kind of dry. So I ask her, like, over that weekend, like, oh shit, like, are you good? What's up? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you can talk to me. And she was like, no, it's nothing, don't worry. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll let you deal with it on your own. Like, obviously, because I was scared to hold her hand. Obviously, I'm not gonna like push her to like tell me all of her deepest secrets and whatnot. And then I think on Monday of that week, she says like, I don't want to hide anything from you. I don't want to lie to you, but I've been seeing Josh in the hallways, and I'm like thinking of the memories we had together, and blah blah blah. Like I think I still have feelings for him, and that was the first time she. That was the first time she broke my heart. And obviously I didn't say that. I was really understanding. I was super okay with it because I liked her so much that it was to the point where if she was happier elsewhere, then so be it. So I said, "Oh, like that's okay. Like I completely understand because you and Josh were together for way longer than we were, so I get that if you have second thoughts about, getting with me instead of trying to work things out with Josh." And she was like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we break up. And I guess she tries talking to Josh and doesn't work out. Whatever the case, I still don't know. I never asked. And so we broke up on Tuesday of that week, I believe. And it was sad because my mom, I love my mom, right? But back then, freshman year and stuff, she was super, super strict, especially about girls. She was super strict. Like, you'll get more into it, but technically, we got together September, and then we like did not like consistently start hanging out until February. Like that's my birthday month, and we like did not start like consistently hanging out until February. And she didn't like come to my house for the first time until Halloween of that year, October 31st. So it was like a whole thing. She was super strict. So it was to the point where she didn't even want me to go to her house to like give her the little Hoko sign, right? So like obviously I had my sign made like the week before, and then she started acting off that Sunday, and I was like, oh, maybe this, like I still had my sign made, so I was literally carrying around in my backpack, just like waiting for a good like opportunity to give it to her, because obviously it's like super lame to do it at school. Like who does that? But I didn't have any other option because my mom. So, and the way we had lunch last year, right? My advisory was her lunch, and her lunch was my advisory. Did I just say the same thing? But you get what I mean, right? So, and we used to hang out outside the choir room because the choir teacher was like, because Abby's older sister was in choir, and so we were chill with him. So that's how we used to have lunch together. We would sit on the ground outside choir and just have like that 30 minutes, like, or yeah, I think it was 30 minutes of us just together. And I love that. I love that so much. I'd give like anything to go back to that, honestly. My bad. Um, um, yeah, and so my plan was, I, because like usually out sitting outside the choir, it's like an empty hallway. There's not much, like not many other people. So most days it was just us sitting like in this little like corner in a doorway, something like that. You know what I mean. So I was thinking like, okay, one of these days next week, I'm gonna build the courage and I'm gonna ask her like in that hallway like when there's nobody else around, because doing that shit in front of other people, like what are we doing? PDA, I'm not doing that. And um, so I build up all this courage, and then we break up on that Monday or Tuesday, or I think it was like Tuesday. And I still have this sign in my bag. And then I give it away to one of my friends. I don't know why I did that. She loves white, or she did. I don't think she likes it anymore, like recently. But she used to love white chocolate at the time. She hates regular chocolate. She does not like chocolate like regular like brown, or like she doesn't like milk chocolate. She doesn't like dark. She doesn't like any of it. But she used to like white chocolate back in the day. Back in the day. So I got her like the little bag of Lindits, white. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the Lindor Lindits, white chocolate with balls, right? So I had like a pack of those, and a sign, and everything. And I've just been carrying it around in my backpack, and then the day comes, in my fourth period, we had like a mutual friend. Her name was Esther, and she was like kind of more friends with Abby, but she'd tell me things like she told me that like, oh yeah, Abby's been a little bit off and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I know, and then she was like there with me to like make the sign and like think about what to write on the sign. I still have it. I still have it somewhere around here. Yeah, but yeah, I do so. I know I still have it somewhere. I have it somewhere. It was a Tyler the Creator thing. It was like, can I make your earthquake, like the song Earthquake? Can I make your earthquake at Hoka? It was so stupid, and it was like a little printout of like the Igor thing, like the Igor album cover. I don't even know if that song was on that album. I'm not gonna lie, was it? I think it was actually. I don't know, but right. So fourth period that day, before she broke up with me, because she broke up with me like that afternoon, like after school. So fourth period that day, because my lunch is right after my fourth period, right? So fourth period that day, I'm talking to Esther because she's in my fourth period. I was like, okay, Abby's been a little bit off, but I think we'll be fine. And Hoko's this Friday. I think I should ask her out. And then Esther, like, she gives me this look, and I'm like, what? What happened? Like, did she tell you something? And Esther was like, no, don't worry about it. So I start talking about it a bit more. I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show her the sign. I'm gonna give her the chocolate. And Esther, like, she like gives in. She's like, I don't think you should do that today. I'm like, what? Why not? What happened? I mean, Hoko's on Friday. When else should I do it? Like, I think I waited enough. Cause like, I don't know if other schools do it differently, but people were like doing their Hoka proposals like 2-3 weeks before. I was doing it. I was doing it like fucking 3 days before, so I was already behind. I was like, "What do you mean I shouldn't do it?" She was like, "Just sign. I don't think you should do it." I'm like, "Okay, give me a reason. Why should I not do it? Because I really need to." And she was like, "She's probably gonna break up with you today." And I remember at first I didn't like believe her because like I told her like, "Oh yeah, we talked about it." She told me about how she feels with Josh, and I think we'll be fine like later on. Just give it some time. And she was like, "No, like I talked to her this morning. She's gonna break up with you this after school today." And 27 minutes. Wow, y'all are really gonna have a hard time watching this, but and Esther's just like, "No, please don't. She's gonna break up with you. Trust me." I'm like, "Oh." Like, after that first denial phase, it really sets in. Because, like, I really liked this girl, right? I really liked her. And, yeah. And then, fourth period, I think about, like, after fourth period ends, I go meet up with Abby, and at this point, she's, like, completely shut out. Like, she's not herself at all. And, like, I realized, like, I should have picked up on the signs a bit more. She's breaking up with me. She most likely is. I forgot to mention a part. So after I like talk with Esther a bit more and like I believe her, I'm like, oh shit, my whole world comes crashing down in fourth grade. Whatever, it's fine. Well, it's not fine, but you know what I mean. So I remember I handed out like the entire thing of white chocolate to the entire class because like what else? Because I don't like white chocolate. So what else am I supposed to do with it? At this point they've been sitting in my bag for like fucking a week now, and then I give the sign to Esther because like what am I gonna do with it? So fourth period comes around, and mind you, most of the time we're sitting there, we're laughing our ass off the entire 30 minutes. We're watching TikToks, we're flirting, we're kissing. Leave it be, yeah, we're kind of, we're like PDA, but like in private, if you know what I mean. We're laughing, kissing, blah, blah, blah. But like that day, we practically sat in silence. At least she did. I mean, I tried. I was like, Abby, what's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And like, Abby, look at this funny video. And she was just like, totally blowing me off. And like about like 15 minutes in of me just trying to like talking to a wall, and I like give up, and we just sit there in silence, get up and just walk away from each other. I remember in the moment that was like the saddest like emotion I had felt in like so long in that moment. And I was like, oh my god, I'm really gonna lose this girl, because I know at this point we'd only been together for like what, 2 months? Like it literally didn't mean anything at all, I guess, to the outside world, but to me, like I really liked her. I liked her a lot. I don't know what it was about her. specifically because like I've had other talking stages and things like that. Oh gosh, but like nothing felt the same as her. So I was like, okay, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I'll move on. And yeah, whatever. So she sends me a breakup text like right after, pretty much like 30 minutes after school, I'd say. And I see it, but I don't open it because like I don't want her to know that I read it because like I don't even know what to say to it. So I wait because we get off of school at like 3:40, and really back then we did, or 3:50 I think actually. My bad. And she sends it around like 4:30 or something like that. And I wait until 7 or 8 to like respond to it, and I was like, yeah, I heard. I kind of sensed it, and wherever you go in life, it's good. I wish you the best, and like as long as you're happy, I guess I'm happy. So we have our little breakup, a couple tears shed, blah blah blah, and at that point we're no contact for like the next day, Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah, we're no contact for like Wednesday, and then on Thursday, like I think during school, like in the morning, like early morning, she hits me up and she was like, I know we're broken up, but like I still don't want to go to Hoko alone. Would you want to go to homecoming with me and my friends, like just as friends? And I'm like, yeah, of course, because obviously I still had feelings for this girl. Like I loved her so much. And yeah, I was like, yeah, of course, I'll go to Hoko with you. Like as friends, at least I'll be with you. At least we're talking, because like we were no contact, and I was like killing, like no contact on good terms was like the worst thing. I swear. Let me sit up. Okay, where was I? No contact Hoko, right? And so we go to the choir room again. This time we're inside the choir room with everybody else. We're just sitting, we're just talking, and she has like this one friend, Ari. So we were talking, me, Ari, Abby, we were just talking. We were like, yeah, blah blah blah, we're friends, and oh, what are you gonna wear to homecoming, whatever. So, and at this point, I haven't told my mom that we broke up, and she hasn't told her mom that we broke up yet either, because we just didn't get to it, I guess. So, homecoming comes around, and her mom, I put so much effort into my fit, I swear, because I was like, tonight I'm gonna get her back, I'm gonna get her back, and her mom picks us up, and I walk out, and her mom was so nice back then. Later in the story, you'll hear about it. She started to hate me later, but I don't know why. I was always so nice to her, but she just hated me later on. But this was like one of my first times meeting her, so she was really nice. I put on I think I still have it, my Chanel. It was her favorite cologne. My blue. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Blue de Chanel. It's like a little square bottle. I don't know if you can see it. It's like right there on top of my mirror. But it was her favorite cologne, so obviously I drenched myself in it before. I need braces. My gosh. But and I walk out. Her mom picks me up. I'm super nervous because my parents weren't home. So Abby texts me like, "Oh, we're outside. Come out. My mom's here to pick you up." Or like, we're here to pick you up because her mom was driving because we didn't have a license back then. We still don't have a license. I don't get mine until February because again, February's my birthday. But my bad. Off topic. And anyways, so her mom comes out, or like they're in front of the house, and she DMs me and she's like, "We're outside. Come out." And dude, I promise, I was standing in front of my front door, like inside, like I was so nervous. I was standing there for like a whole like 2-3 minutes while they're waiting outside, like hyping myself. I was like, okay, I got this. I'm texting Abby like, which side of the car do I go on? Because obviously it's gonna be awkward if I go into the wrong side and like whatnot. So I go outside. I walk to the car. I make sure I have my Hoko ticket and everything. I think I still have that ticket. So I do. I have it still somewhere. It's in I put most of her stuff in a box, and it's in like my closet or something. And I go out and get in the car. One of like the most nerve-wracking experiences ever, because I'm so nervous. This is my first time meeting her mom, and she doesn't have. At this point, her father was not in her life. That's like a whole nother story. Her father was not in her life, so it's just her mom that I need to impress, right? And get in the car immediately. Obviously, they smelled the cologne, so she says, I smell good. I'm like, thank you, of course. We take some pictures next to the lake in my neighborhood. Some horrible, I think it's 11, but they were not good at all. It was like so like awkward because we're broken up, but like I still have to like put my arm around her and stuff. And I was already nervous even doing that while dating, so it was like a whole thing. It was like really awkward. But later on, I'll tell you right now, that homecoming was one of the best nights of my life. Like not just for me and Abby, just like in general, in my entirety of like my life. That was one of the best nights ever. It was beautiful. But and I'm gonna tell you about I'm gonna tell you all about it. So we get to homecoming, and obviously at first it's not like super. We're not me and Abby. We're not like super close. We're not super touchy or nothing. So we're just sitting at the table before like, cause we got there kind of early, honestly. Cause everybody has like they go to a party for us to take pictures first or something. No, we just went straight to like the homecoming at school, and we're sitting at the table. Not too many people are there. We're just like talking casually, and then we get up to like greet one of our friends that's like walking, cause it was in the cafeteria. So we're like walk to the door, and while walking there, I don't know why. I guess it was just like habit, cause I used to do this when we were dating. She was like in front of me and I was behind her and we were walking, so I like instinctually I walk up and I put my hand around her waist and we like kind of look at each other. I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Like it was just instinct. It was habit. Like I didn't try to. My bad. But she says no, it's fine. You can keep it there. I was like, I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's fine. And I was like, oh okay. I mean, I still don't. Like I took my hand away like immediately. So, but she was like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. So we go meet her and stuff, and then we sit back at the table. We're getting like a little bit like closer to each other and stuff, and she's like kind of leaning on me, I guess, not really. And I remember I was just so confused. I was like, we're not dating, are we? Like we're not together. Like we shouldn't be. Is my eyes swollen? My bad. Like we shouldn't be doing this. But obviously, I loved her so much that none of that shit mattered, together or not. Like at least she's close. At least we're near each other, and we're talking, and we're here together. And we get up to 37. Dude, this is just the beginning of the story. I'm so sorry. But we get up and we walk to like the picture thing. Like there's like a little picture station. You know what I mean. With like the little thing where you type in your number afterwards and it takes you and then it goes on like a group thing. So we go up, we take pictures, and that was like our first wave of pictures. We're like kind of having our arms around each other and stuff. It was really nice. And then we go up again like later on to take some more pictures. And at this point I'm gonna like skip some things here to like, I want to make this video under an hour. I don't want to torture y'all too much. But at this point we had been like a bit more touchy, we're kind of dancing. We're having like a really, really good time. Like I loved that night. It was actually my favorite. And damn. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. And at that point, we go up to take pictures again, and my bad. Aquaphor. And while we're taking pictures, I remember we're like all up on it. Like not all up on it, actually. Like not too PDA, but like we're like next to each other. We're like pretty much hugging. And then she says, "Kiss me" for the picture. And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, kiss me." So I kissed her, and that was like the most confused I was because there was like I was like confused that pretty much that whole night. Like, what are we right now? And then, but I guess like it didn't really matter because we were having such a good time in the moment, and we kissed in the picture, and I was so happy. I was like, I got my girl back. Like my pretty girl, I got you back. Blah blah blah, and it was a really nice night. The music was amazing. They had a really good DJ. People were like messing around. They were like running around, jumping around, blah blah blah. Just vibing, all that stuff. So near the end, we go to like this corner. It sounds so corny, like middle school coded, but we go to this corner in the cafeteria and we're like making out, almost. And she has like her legs on me, kind of. Like we're on two seats, but like she's like
she has her legs on me, and like we're like kissing and like talking and stuff. And I was like, "You want to go outside?" And she was like, "Yeah," because the weather outside was so nice that night. Right? Like everything about that night was just so perfect. The weather outside was like amazing. Like I had my suit and stuff on, and I was still like feeling a breeze, and it was nice. So we go out the main entrance, then we go to the side, like the auditorium, where like there's nobody there, no cars, nothing. And we just sit on the bench and we look at the stars, because at this point it was like nine, 9 or 10 at night, and we were like looking up. There wasn't a lot of stars because the way my school is, like, there's lights around the school, but it's also like in the middle of nowhere. Like it's in the middle of like fields and stuff, so you can see stars a lot. So we were looking up at the stars, pointing, laughing, talking. It was just amazing, and we were making we were making out and stuff, and then it was like it was so amazing. And oh, I have a souvenir from that night too. I'll show you. Oh gosh, I still have this. This was one of the little candles that they put out on the tables at Hoko. I've been conserving the battery on this for years. It still lights up and stuff. Me and Abby both snagged one of these from the tables. Like she has hers and I have mine, and it was really great. Like again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I don't think you understand. It was one of the best nights of my life ever. Like I loved that night. I think it was one of me and Abby's best nights too. It was like our peak, almost. I guess I don't know. Because again, we had ups and downs. And it's 2 a.m. for me. Goodness. 41 minutes. Alright. And my dad picks us up, and the car ride home, it's also really nice. We're we're just giggling in the back seat, like thinking about the night. And it was amazing. It was really nice. And yeah, next day, we finally confront the topic of us kissing and whatnot while we're not together, and obviously we get back together. She disregards Josh. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like you had a fucking, what do you call it? Like a moment where you thought you wanted him, or whatever the case may be. And yeah, we just get back together, and that period, like those few months up until like winter break, from like October 20th, 21st up until winter break, like in December, mid-December, I think that may have been the peak of our relationship. We were so in love with each other. And I swear I just heard something. But we were so in love with each other, and like it felt like in those few months there was nothing that could get in the way of us. Cause it was the first time I ever had a girl over at my house. She wasn't even allowed upstairs. She was never allowed upstairs, but you know what I mean. Like my mom was like super strict. Y'all have to stay in the living room, blah blah blah. And it was like on Halloween night, and I had to fight so hard with my mom to get her to like get Abby to like be able to come over. Cause like Abby's mom, like she was chill, so she doesn't really care. But my mom, she was like so straight. I remember like for like 3 days straight, it's just me and my mom like back and forth, me like convincing her. And one of our peak memories was really back then. I literally made an AI model to like replicate my mother, and then I like put in various pieces of text to see which one would have the highest success rate, and like what line of argument I should follow. It's like such middle school corny bullshit, but it was so. I think that just like represents like how locked in we are. Like we would do anything for each other at that point. And she finally comes over on October 31st. Halloween and we pass out candy together. It was just like such an amazing night. And I love that. I love that night too. I'm telling you, like, that period of time was just, it was amazing for us. I really do, like, I know I've said this before, but I'd give up everything just to go back and live in that time once again. It's like, sounds so corny, but like, our relationship, it had ups and downs, but it also had like a downward trend, I feel like. And I think that was like our peak ever. I'd really do anything just to go back and maybe like embrace those times a bit more. Like, you know, like you really don't know what you have until it's gone, I guess, right? And it was like really nice. You know, we see each other at school. We rarely hang out after school at this point. Like maybe like once every 2 weeks or something like that. Because my mom didn't. It's not like she didn't like her. She didn't like me, like the idea of me like having a girl in general back then. And you know, we're like good up until December, like about right before winter break starts. She starts acting off again. And, you know, we go through the whole thing. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And then she says, like, oh my god, I'm sorry, excuse me. And she starts talking about Josh again. And I'm like, oh man, not again. I didn't say that. I think I was pretty nice about it, I think. I'd like to think. But she was like, yeah, I think, you know, Josh just like keeps coming back in my life over and over again, and I want to maybe talk to him a bit. And I was like, you know what, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead. Like, if you're happy, I'm happy, kind of thing. And we were like still friends. This time we were in no contact. We were in contact this time. Like as friends. So we broke up on like a school day, like right before, like the week, like the last week of school before winter break, we broke up. Yeah, we broke up. And she was like talking to Josh, and like since we're friends, she's like telling me how it's going with Josh. Like, oh yeah, I don't think they hung out, but like, oh yeah, he sent me this today. We were talking today, blah blah blah. Cause, you know, like as friends, and it hurt a little bit, but I was happy to see that she was happy. And then I don't remember exactly. This was a year ago. Forgive me, but I guess her and Josh just didn't work out that time either. And then we decided to get back together on Christmas Day. I remember this part. Christmas Day at around 7:30 p.m. We decided to get back together because, I don't know, I guess she just wants me. No, like, let me know. But yeah, we get back together. And the thing is, she was scared to tell Josh. And her view on it was like, oh, I know I broke up with you, then I talked to Josh as if we were going to get together for like a little bit, like the period from when Christmas week started to Christmas Day. And I was talking to Josh, and I felt like I was leading him on. So me getting with you, I don't want him to know that I got with you because that might hurt his feelings. Which, okay, I'm pretty. That was like the most of it, which I understand. Oh, also she was like, oh, I don't want to go public with our relationship all the time. And I was like, yeah, of course, I understand. You know, you're going through stuff. I'm not. I was going through stuff because you broke up with me, but, you know, I get it. And like, so we get back together, then school starts, and we're good, and stuff. Man, I shouldn't waste the battery on this. And okay. I'm gonna get a foot cramp later. I'm sitting in a weird spot. But yeah, we get back together and school starts, and she said she wanted to keep us like not public, And I thought that meant like, oh yeah, we'll still be dating and stuff, but like we'll still hold hands in the hall, blah blah blah, whatever. We'll still tell each other about each other, but we just won't like go openly boast it. We won't like post it a lot, stuff like that. But what ended up happening was I was like barely allowed to like be seen with her, kinda. Like we, it's again it sounds corny, but we used to always hold hands in the hallways and stuff. But we didn't do, or like I wasn't allowed by her to like hold hands with her. Um, we would barely kiss because like, oh, what if somebody saw us kissing and went to tell Josh, and we don't want to hurt Josh's feelings. So, okay, like I don't know why I stayed through that. Cause like looking back on it, I was so shitty of her. It was like so shitty of her. So last time I water, man. But yeah, that was like so shitty of her. And like, I don't know, I guess I was like blinded by love. But and we yeah. So we just like kept that up for what was it, month or two maybe? I don't remember exactly. It may have been longer, it may have been shorter. Like but I'd say like at least a month we kept that up. And I remember one day after school, well, like during school we kind of get into it because like at this point I'm like getting kind of annoyed because like literally we can't post each other. We used to have a highlight together like on Instagram, and like she was in my bio and everything removed, no highlight, no nothing. Like I can't be seen kissing her, I can't be seen holding hands with her. If we talk too much, that's a problem because like whatever, right? And I was like getting sick of it, right? So I was like giving her attitude. I'm not gonna lie, I was giving her attitude like all that day. Like I think if I remember correctly. And after school, we like kind of get into it. Like we're like kind of like talking about it. I was saying things like, dude, if you want Josh, then go get Josh. Like I feel like you're valuing Josh's feelings over mine's. Like I'm over here telling you, I don't like how this is going. I can't even tell anybody that we're together. Like, dude, I love you. I really like you, and I'm having to tell people that I have nothing to do with you, and I hate that. And I feel like you're taking my feelings, you're throwing them in the gutter, and you're putting Josh's feelings over mine. And that's so fucked up because we're dating, we're together, and he's your ex. Like, why are you putting his feelings over mine? Like, I sound cocky and selfish, but that's like, I was dealing with her for like a month, and I know this doesn't sound like a long time, but that's 30 days, man. Like, 30 days of like having to act like I had nothing to do with the love of my life, and I hated it. I hated it so much. So like around like after that, we get into it, and I explode on her like on text kind of. I'm like texting her like long ass paragraphs like, dude, like fuck, if you want Josh, then go to Josh. Like I can't do this anymore. I can't like be like your hidden boyfriend, because at this point she was walking with Josh every now and then in the hallways too. Like she quite literally like, and I don't mean to shit talk her at all. I don't like this. That's not what I'm trying to do. Like this is just what happened back then. Like January 2024 ish. Yeah, like January 2024. Around this time, but like last year, like 1 year ago around this time, right? What day is it? January 6th. A bit later. Yeah. And there was like instances where literally I was walking with her, like to her class or whatever, and she said, like, I need to walk with Josh, and she would leave me, and I'd like walk the opposite way, even though my class is that way, and I'd walk the opposite way because she needs to go walk with Josh. And again, that was like, I was so shitty of her, and I don't know why I dealt with that, because I know I wouldn't right now. I don't know if that means like our love was like less near the end or what, but in that like, during that time I put up with it. I was like, it's fine. Like I love her so much and I can't lose her. If this is what it takes, then I guess I'm okay with it. But that one day I completely explode on her. Pause. And we're like talking, and it was mainly because she wasn't arguing back. She wasn't doing that. She was like mainly just apologizing and like saying like, yeah, I know it's not like a good thing what I'm doing, but I just don't know what else to do because I don't want to hurt his feelings. And again, like what I said earlier, I was like, oh, so you value Josh's feelings over mine, and all that. And then she was saying like, no, it's not only Josh's, because like I don't want to be public because I feel uncomfortable. And I was like, bullshit, like this is all because of Josh, like let's be real. And like, we had our little argument, and then it stayed like almost the same for like another week or two, and then we finally go public. And it wasn't just like one day suddenly we started fucking making out in the hallways and shit. Like it was like slow change. Like we'd hold hand again. It's all really corny middle school bullshit, but it meant a lot to me back then. Hopefully it meant a lot to her too. But yeah, and you know, we start holding hands more. She stops walking with Josh. I think at that point she had stopped talking to Josh too. Hopefully, maybe not. I don't even know anymore. But hopefully, I think at that point she stops talking to Josh too. And you know, we're in a. I'd say we were in a pretty good spot because we're pretty much public, blah blah blah, and like it was second semester, so we were kind of locking in, trying to lock in at school, you know, freshman year. And gosh, how long is this? 56 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, we were in a pretty. I'd say we were in like a pretty good spot. You know, we loved each other, and my mom at this point, because my birthday is February 16th, so during my birthday, we hang out like after my birthday from February 6th on my birthday. I think we go out to dinner that night, and it's like really nice. And after that, you know, like that's like when we started hanging out more. I'd say, because I told my mom like, I don't want nothing for my birthday. I want you to like warm up to Abby a bit more. I need you, because I think she's the one. I need you to like be more open to her. I need you to be more open to us hanging out more often. And I need you to accept the idea that me and Abby are dating or in a romantic relationship, whatnot. Right? And I get it from her view too, because again, I was 14 at the time. Like, if my kid comes up to me at 14 and be like, oh, dad, she's the one, I would, you know, I'd be like, bullshit, shut up, whatever, right? So I'm not blaming my mom for anything. I get where she was coming from. But, oh, my back hurts. And yeah, where was I? Right, and we started hanging out a lot more. And then I remember spring break, like that week in March, we almost hung out every single day of that week, and it was amazing. I loved it so much. That was like our second prime, I guess. Like our second prime. Like that period of time, and then summer starts, and we're like a little bit concerned because again, we're not hanging out like super super crazy. Like obviously, it's more than it was before, but again, it's not like anything like super duper crazy. So we were kind of concerned, like, oh, how are we gonna like see each other more during summer, because you know, during the school year, we see each other like at guaranteed like 5 days a week or whatever, right? At school at least. And then over summer, and I guess over summer, my mom like really starts warming up to her, and my dad too. This is the part that like hurts the most about the breakup, kind of. My mom and Abby, like, they had an amazing relationship. Like, my mom loved Abby. She loved Abby to death. So did my dad. I'm an only child. I have no siblings, so my mom and dad would always call Abby, like, the daughter they never had. And my dad loved her, but my mom and Abby's relationship, it was like something like, I don't know if I can't see that with like, I can't see my mom and like any other girl like being like that ever. And I know that's like a weird thing to like be worried about, but that's like one of the parts that hurts like a lot about our breakup, like, because I put in so much work for her with my parents, especially, to like for them to be accepting of her and everything, and they truly like they really loved Abby. Like they were planning on me and Abby getting married and everything. Like I gave them that vision, and I feel so bad because she tore it away, dude. But and it's just not there anymore. Like I made my fucking parents believe that we were gonna get married and that we were locked in, and that doesn't sound like much to a lot of you, I'm sure, but to me that was a lot to get like my own mother to like think that way. Cause like before, she was like, "Oh, you and Abby, like y'all are 14, y'all aren't gonna last, whatever." And I had to convince her, to my mom and my dad, like, "No, I promise you guys, like, I really think she's the one. Like, this might be the one." And they believed it. They did. They really did believe it. And then I had to tear that all away from them because of her bullshit, dude. My bad. I don't mean to shit talk or anything at all, but that really is like something that really hurts a lot. An hour and 1 minute. Gosh, I'm sorry. But yeah, and where was I? Summer, right? Yeah. So I'm having fun during summer. She is too. I think I forgot to mention she's one of like 8 siblings, so a lot of the time she has to babysit, so she can't leave the house like a lot of the time. Like she has to babysit like the younger, because she's like smack dab in the middle. She has like, I'm blanking, but she has 4 younger siblings. One of them's 13, and the rest are like, at the time they were like what, 12, and then there's twins that are like, shoot, how old are they? 8. So she would have to like babysit them, or like not babysit, but like, keep an eye on them when her mom's out. So a lot of the times, she would be the only one that's there to like watch over the kids, and we wouldn't be able to hang out a whole lot. But we made do, because at this point my parents love her. Like they come and ask me. They're like, "When's the next time we can see Abby?" Blah blah blah. Like, "Where's Abby at? Can she hang out today?" And all this stuff. And and yeah, it was really nice. And then her birthday is July 5th, which is about like a month. About a month. Do I have any water left? My throat's been talking for like an hour, dude. And so her birthday's July 5th, and we were planning this really big trip to go on, well, not a big trip, but like a day trip to Austin. We live in Houston, around Houston, right? And we were planning to take her to Austin and just spend the day in Austin, blah blah blah, get food, go to this really nice restaurant, like Oasis, if anybody knows Oasis in Austin. It's a beautiful restaurant. It's like over the ocean and everything. I love it. And we're driving around. We go to we visit the Capitol. What else did we do there? We took her shopping at a mall in Austin. We went sightseeing. We went to like some like viewpoints and stuff. It was really nice. That was on July 5th on her. July 5th, her birthday. And that was really nice too. And this doesn't have a lot to do with like the actual breakup. I'm just telling you guys like our story, because I think that's important. There's so much left. I might have to like break this up into 2 parts, but I want to get it all done because I've been putting this off for long enough. And I feel like I've just been bottling everything up since it happened, since we broke up, and I need an outlet. And So it's kind of late, so I'm skipping over some stuff too. But basically, one and also like a really big thing. My bad. Oh wow, I skipped over a really really huge thing. I don't even know how I skipped over that. But back in January, we're gonna backtrack a bit. Back in January, um, I grew up Muslim. Like my parents are Muslim. My whole family's Muslim. Abby's family is Christian, and another thing that happened in October was we decided that it was mostly Abby, but she wanted to further like build her relationship with Christ, which is amazing. I love that for her because I'm not gonna go too much into it, but she's had a past with like Nick, weed, lust, blah blah, whatever. She's had a past. That's all I'm saying. So for her to be like, I want to get better, I want to be more religious, that was incredible. I was like, yeah, of course. And she was like, our relationship is built on lust a lot, which it was at the time. And she was like, I know our relationship is built off of lust a lot. So would it like be okay with you if we try to not, do that? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like that's not why I like you, Abby. I like you for you, not because of the things we do, right? So we get really into it, and it's to the point where she tells me things like, dude, I'm gonna like keep it straight with you. Since you're Muslim, like at least in Christianity, you'll be going to hell, and I don't want to be in heaven without you. And no hates are like she wasn't like trying to shit talk like Islam or me or my religion or anything. She was like it was like genuine concern, which is like really sweet. She was like, I don't want to spend eternity in heaven without you, knowing that you're burning in hellfire. I was like, a bit harsh, but I get what you're saying. So ultimately, I make the decision, and I guess I didn't do it for like the best reason, because I did it for love and for a girl and whatnot. But I decided to, because I was never really into Islam. I was never super religious, so leaving Islam wasn't like a huge thing for me. Like it wasn't like oh my god, but I started like studying the Bible more. I started learning more about Christianity, and if my friends asked me like, oh, what are you? I'd start saying more. Like before, I'd say, oh, I'm Muslim, but I'm not religious. But now I'm starting to say like, yeah, I'm a Christian, blah blah blah. Like I was proud of it, and she changed me. And then I know this is a bit weird to like say, but January January, late January was the first time we did it, right? And it wasn't like a lustful thing. Like to us, it sounds like really dirty and filthy. Like chill on me, but it wasn't fucking. It was making love, if you know what I mean. Like it wasn't just having bullshit sex. It wasn't just fucking. It was like it was like intimate. I don't know how to explain it. It was like really intimate. We made love, and it was great. And then we had like a really really big pregnancy scare. Like her period was like, I know. Okay, this is TMI, but I don't think anybody's saying this, so it doesn't really matter. We had like a crazy pregnancy scare. Like her period was off by like what, a month, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure her period was like off by a month in January. So it was like an insane pregnancy scare. Like it was to the point where we had just accepted she was pregnant, and we were like making plans to like tell our parents at like 4 or 5 months into the pregnancy, like everything. And thankfully, she got a period. But that experience, we even named our kid. We kind of just assumed it was going to be a boy. I don't know why, but we just assumed it was going to be a boy. And we named him Adonis. And, later on, like a long time later, actually, like around like 10 months, I think, she gave me this. His name is Adonis. This is our child. Child that won't happen anymore, but yeah. And so we're both, pretty religious at this point. Over summer, we try to deepen our. It's like she starts dressing more modestly, which is a huge thing for her because she used to not dress modestly. She used to again, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty details, but she was she was overcome by lust in the past, and she did some things that she regrets, and I did some things that I regret. But so modesty was a huge thing for her to overcome. It was like a big step in order to strengthen her relationship with Christ. So she starts dressing more modest, which again I was so proud of her. I was so proud of her. And I can't explain to you guys how proud I was of my girl, because I got watched her go from this sinning person to somebody that is so deep in a relationship with Christ, to where every aspect of her life she tries to live in the vision of Christ. And in that process she brought me along too, and I was so grateful to her as well for bringing me to the light, right? And all that was nice. Summer was great, and then we start sophomore year, and at this point, around the end of summer, sorry. At this point, around the end of summer, she's getting more and more into modesty, and she starts wearing I don't remember exactly what they're called, but the butterfly dresses, abayas or stuff, which Muslim women wear. I'm not saying it's Muslim dress, but Muslim women mostly wear those kinds of things. And this is somewhat of a downhill. We'll get to that, but she starts wearing Muslim, not Muslim, those butterfly baggy dresses to hide her form or whatever, and she starts covering her hair too with a hijab, but it's for Christianity, because I don't quote me on this, I'm not an expert at all, but what she told me was something about in Corinthians or that book, and then in Orthodox Christianity, women cover their hair. And I was okay, if that's what makes you feel comfortable, go for it, whatever. And she was covering her hair, and that's all fine and dandy. First day of school comes. First day of school, she wears a regular fit, not crop top or anything, but modest, but regular. She wears a really really pretty purple skirt that I bought her from Earthbound. It's so pretty. I don't think she's ever worn it after that, but she looks so good. First day of sophomore year, and she had a white t-shirt kind of thing. Nothing crazy, nothing immodest, but it was cute. And second day of school, she wears the hijab, and then I'm pretty sure she wears the butterfly abaya dress thing too. Yeah, I think so. And that's when I because I hadn't seen it in person until then. So I've only seen her talking about it so far. And then she actually pulls up school and wears it. I'm oh, okay, that's okay. That's a big step. And I wasn't hating on it. Again, I don't want to sound like an asshole. I don't want to sound like a jerk. Oh, I want her to be immodest. No, it's not like that at all. I was super proud of her. I was okay, that's cool. So are you gonna start covering your hair and stuff? This is forever. And she was yeah, probably. And her mom was this is I guess where her hatred started. Her mom knew that I was exploring Christianity more, but she never believed me, I guess. She was always oh, he's just doing this for you, he's not actually a Christian. All of this is just a facade to impress you, to keep you reeled in or whatever, he's tricking you, blah blah blah. I guess to an extent she wasn't wrong. Yeah, a big part of why I was doing it was for Abby, but I also just felt a deeper connection. I was never religious, up until Christianity, and I was the type to openly disrespect the idea of God and everything. And then once I started studying Christianity more and stuff, I was oh shit, this kind of makes sense to me, and I feel it, right? I felt a connection with that. It was a connection that I had never felt even for a second in Islam. So that was great. And so when Abby started wearing like these like Muslim type of clothes, right? Her mom was like, "Oh, so now he's influencing you to become a Muslim," which I don't even know what to say to that because girl, my bad, I sound a bit sensitive, but like girl, like I wasn't ever even that deep into Islam. Why would I influence things like that onto Abby? So it was like it was a whole thing, and I think that's like where her mom really started to not like me, I guess you could say. And yeah, so and this whole period, by the way, from like what is it, Christmas to December, when Gigi and I broke up, we didn't break up at all. So we were like on a good streak, on a good run. And yeah, so we're doing good. We're doing good. We have like some small arguments because, again, and like later on, like of like a week or two after she starts covering her hair, she starts covering her face too. Like literally, like I'm not gonna lie, she did look Muslim, like or like typical Muslim attire, and then I started getting shit at school too, about like, oh, my bad, you're trying to make your girl Muslim, blah blah blah. You're like influencing your girl like that. Like, why are you doing that? I'm like, I was like fighting for my life like every day at school. Like it is. I know it sounds like stupid. Like who gives a fuck? But like, my God, I'm sorry. But I would get DMs. I'd get like in my little like not gonna lie like link things. I'd get like messages like, oh, is your girl Muslim now? Why are you trying to make your girl Muslim? I was like, dude, I'm not even Muslim. Like, what are you talking? She's doing this on her own whim for Christianity, and I fought with my life for myself, and to defend her, and at that point, like she had changed so much from like the girl that I knew, and again, I'm not saying that I wanted her to be back to like the modest, like sinning person that she was. I'm not saying that at all. That's not the point here. Like what happened was like she just was different to me. Like she wasn't the same girl that I had known, and I told her these things. It's not like that I kept it from her. I told her these things. I was like, Abby, like all this stuff you're doing, like I'm super duper proud of you. Like that's amazing, but don't you think you're going a bit too far with like? Because at this point, she would go to school. All you could see were her eyes, and even that, she was thinking about like covering her eyes too at some point. So I like talked to her. Like, Abby, don't you think you're taking this a bit too far? Like we're both getting shit at school, and to be honest, I don't even think it's like that like much of a Christian thing to do to hide your face also, and like your mom is like fucking hating me because she thinks something else is going on with this. So we talk about it, and like in no way did I tell her like, Abby, go to school with your hair out. I didn't say that at all. No, in no way it wasn't like that. I was like expressing how I felt basically. And then slowly she like starts getting out of it, but that was like a whole phase, and I think that's where we took another hit in our relationship, because during that phase, I think it was like what, 2 months maybe, and during that time, it sounds so shitty of me, but I guess I wasn't like physically, I like wasn't super like into her, because there wasn't anything there. I will every day I'd go to school. All I'd see was like a long black dress and like if I was lucky a pair of eyes. So I like wasn't super physically. Don't get me wrong. I still loved her. I was still romantically in love with her. But and I don't want to sound like a jackass or a jerk. Like I only wanted her for her body. No, it's not like that at all. But I think a lot of people like don't admit that in any relationship, like obviously physical stuff isn't the biggest thing, but it does play a part. So at this point when I could barely see my girl, like, and she had changed so much in her character, like obviously to a good way, but in my eyes at least, or at least I thought, she was taking it a bit too far. I sound like a jackass, I know, but I'm sorry, but. And I told her all this shit. And I didn't tell her the part of me, like, not being, like. I'm sorry. Not being, like, physically into her. I didn't tell her that, but that's, like, how I was feeling. Those 2 months, I was like, yeah, like, I love you as a person, your personality. And obviously that outweighs your, like, physicality, like, by 1,000, but, you know, it's your physical, like, appearance still plays a part in it, like, at least a little bit. I don't know if I'm wording all this good. I might just sound like a complete lard ass or like a complete whatever, right? A jerk. But it wasn't like that though. And you know, eventually, like, I didn't like talk her out of it, but, like, she kind of came out of it on her own because her mom was giving her shit about it too, because she was thinking that she was becoming more and more Muslim or whatever. And so like, eventually she came out of it, and then again we were good, but you know, that lingering feeling of like, oh, I don't think you're pretty. Wow, that sounds super bad, but you know what I mean, like, in layman's terms, or like in the simplest form possible. You know, it was basically like, oh, I don't think you're pretty. I didn't say that, but like that's how I kind of was feeling. But you know, that was lingering. Obviously, I still thought she was beautiful. She looked amazing. I love her hair. Her hair is one of my favorite parts. Her hair is so pretty. My bad. And my hair is messed up right now, dude. Oh my god. But then that happens, and now we're getting to like the deep stuff. So throughout like the last 6 months, I'd say, there was like this underlying feeling of we're not at 100%, as in 100% being that night at Hoko and like the days following after, when we were so in love. And I think, you know, that one saying, like, comparison is the thief of joy. I think that could be applied here. Like, we compared our matured relationship to where we were like super comfy with each other. Like, it sounds bad, but we basically like took each other for granted. Like, oh, you'll be here, I'll be there. Like, we were comfy with each other. We were like showing each other our bad sides. All our bad qualities were like coming out. You know, like, it wasn't in hiding anymore. Like, everything was out in the open for each other to see. And I guess, and like, at that point, I don't know if y'all felt this too, but it was like we weren't really putting that much effort into our relationship, because at this point we were like, oh, we're locked in, like, we're gonna be with each other till the day we die, no matter what. So we weren't putting a crazy amount of effort into our relationship. Like, I don't know if you like know exactly what I mean, but like, for example, like back then we'd, oh my god, what the fuck, I'm like, there's like a hair in my face with that. Like, for example, back then we'd like make every effort, every like little second we got together, we'd, you know, kiss or talk or tell each other about our days and stuff. And like, we just like, you wouldn't spot one of us without the other. Like, it was to that point. And I felt like, or we both felt like, that kind of thing was not like present in our relationship anymore. Like, we were so like locked in and in love, but I guess we didn't show it as much. We didn't express it as much as we should have. And that was like the root of like a lot of, not arguments I'd say, but like discussions on like why this is happening, why we can't, why we're not like putting, at least making it seem like we're not putting in the same amount of effort that we did back then, and it's making it feel like we're not as in love when we really were. We just like weren't making an active like effort to show it all that much. But yeah, so that becomes like a pretty solid like, what do you call it, like pothole in the road of our relationship. Right, you know what I mean? Like, it becomes like a
pretty big like problem. Like every week I'd say, we're talking about her, like, dude, like, are we drifting off? Like, what's happening? What is this? Like, and I'm trying my hardest, because I was trying my hardest, like, make it feel like what it was back then, but I don't know what it was back then. Like, I don't know what caused it to be like, we were just, like, simply more in love, I guess. I don't know what it was. And I was, like, I was sincerely trying, like, I was trying to act the way I did back then. I was trying to, like, yeah, just, like, act the way I was back then and whatnot. But it didn't really work. And at some point, I think we came to, like, a mutual understanding that it would never be like that. And no matter how hard we tried, it would not be like that. And that's just like a fact of a relationship. It's never gonna be like the same as it was like those first couple months when we had like that like relationship high or whatever, right? Like the first time you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, but I guess we came to like a mutual understanding that that's how it was. And it got to the point where, before we came to this understanding, it got to, this is like more recent, this is like in the last month. I know I haven't been giving dates and stuff because like this all blends into each other, kind of. But, so I'm like skipping a few chapters to speed this up. But it gets to the point where one night we have this huge argument. Like, it's to the point where we, like, literally always, we never end an argument on just like hanging up on each other. We always talk it out, and I think that's why we lasted as long as we did. But we never hung up on each other and just, it was never like the type of argument where we would end it by saying like, okay, fuck you, go away, or whatever. We always talk it out. We'd always find a way to talk it out. And like, yeah, we'd always find a way to talk it out. So that night, we had a really big argument. God, my throat is like itchy from talking so much. So we had a really big argument, and basically we were just like talking about it, and like we were just going back and forth. Like I was like, Abby, I'm trying. I promise I'm trying the best. And she was like, it's like you're not giving. And she was saying stuff like, it's like you're not giving like the same amount of effort you did. Like, you don't like me anymore. I'm like, no, Abby, I am. It's just I don't know what to do at this point. Like, I'm trying my best, and it was just like back and forth like that. And then that led, and like that was the base. And you know how it is. Like at that point when we were mad at each other, we started bringing other shit up. Like I started bringing up her past, and she started bringing up mine. And it's just like, what's it called, snowball effect. It's just like it kept building up, and then eventually we just hung up on each other, which is something we never do in an argument. It's like an unreal. No matter how mad at least to that point, no matter how mad we got at each other, we never really like hung up at each other, and like again, we were never really like, okay, fuck you, go away. It was never like that until that night. So at that point, after we hung up, because we just like did not want to be on call because we were beefing, I had like this really good friend of mine, Trisha. She's a girl, so obviously Abby didn't like love her or anything, but she knew like Trisha is like my sister. She's like a sister to me. So I text Trisha and I tell her about the situation, and at this point I'm like super angry at Abby, and I'm just angry at everything. So I texted Trisha things like, dude, I want somebody new. I'm sorry. I want somebody new. I can't deal with Abby anymore, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think we might need to break up. Stuff like that. I texted Trisha this. And then later after I texted Trisha, we had like a whole conversation about it. And, I got on call with Trisha, and she like guided me to like make things right with Abby and everything, whatnot. Then me and Abby get back on call, and we're like in a good spot. Like we like sort things out, and like we apologize to each other for hanging up in the first place, and then yelling at each other, cursing at each other, stuff like that. Stuff that like isn't right in a relationship. Like you shouldn't cuss at your partner. Let's be honest. And yeah, so we make up and we're good that night. And we have school the next day. So we go to school, and she sees
like for one reason or another, she needed to like use my phone or something because hers was dead. And I'm so sorry. She goes to me and Trisha's text and she sees that and she gets really really upset, like upset to the point she says that I cheated on her because one of my texts said like, dude, I just need somebody new, like I can't with Abby anymore. And I guess she thought that meant like, oh, I had already gone and done stuff with somebody else. Mind you, I've never cheated on her. I never cheated on her. Like, in the slightest way, I never cheated on her. And she was like, dude, you cheated on, this is basically cheating. And we had like another back and forth about that, like pretty much argument for like 3 days. It was like a 3 day long argument at that point where she said, this is cheating and I don't think we should be together. And I was like, Abby, no, like this isn't cheating. I didn't go out and do anything with anybody else. Like literally, all I did was I texted Trisha, and I asked her like what I should do with this. Like, should I break up with her? Should I not? Like, how do I go about this? Basically, it was a more lengthy conversation, but that was like the main key point to take away from that. And she said I consider that cheating, and I'm gonna treat you as if you cheated on me. And we just had like this around like 3 days of argument, and then we finally come to like an understanding to where I was like, okay, I understand. Like I shouldn't have said some of the stuff that I said in those messages, like about not wanting you and all that. But at the same time, like you need to understand, like I don't consider this cheating. Like how is this cheating? And we came to an understanding, right? And we were good. So that was like a really big argument, so I kind of just skimmed over it. But we were good for about a month, and that month was pretty good. It was really nice. We were back to normal. We were like low key kind of better than we were before. Almost like kind of like the high that we had. So I was super happy. She was what I thought was super happy with me. And after about a month, there's this one morning in specific. So usually my mom takes me to school because I still have my permit. I don't have my license yet. I get my license in February and like next month. And this was back in, this was December 19th, maybe, something like that, around that time. And I get a ride because my dad's at work in the morning. My mom usually works from home, so she usually takes me to school in the morning. But my dad goes to work, my mom's out of town for because my cousin was graduating from, that's irrelevant. So she was out of town. So I had to get a ride from Kirsten, one of my other good friends. Like me, Kirsten, and Trisha are like a trio, because Kirsten's a girl too, so we're like a trio, we're like besties. We all take A-push together, and if you take an A-push, it's a shitty ass, it's horrible. I hate it. But we're like in the same period. We all take A-push together, so we're like good friends. So Kirsten picks me up, and then Trisha ends up missing the bus or whatever too, so we have to go pick Trisha up. And at this point, we just end up skipping first because it was so late into first period that we had to. It made more sense to just skip first. So we skip first, and I get to school after first period. And then after I get to school, I go straight to Abby's classroom, waiting for first period to end so she comes out. And when she comes out, I could already tell she was in a bad mood. And I asked her "Oh, are you okay?" And she was like, "So you're skipping with fucking Trisha Kirsten or whatever, right?" And I was like, "No, it's not. It's not really like that. She got in the way. There's traffic. By the time we got to school, it was 10 minutes before first period, fucking ended. So we just ended up skipping. It wasn't planned out or nothing, and I was like, no, I explained to her it wasn't like that, and she was like, okay, I understand. She was still in a mood, and this was finals week, mind you. And sorry, 1 second. And this was finals week, by the way. So we're already like not seeing each other a lot because like there's like extended periods for finals and everything. So this was on Monday. This was a Monday that I got the ride and she was mad, and then we were beefing all on Monday. Not beefing, but like she was off, and I just like repeatedly apologized, and I don't even know what I apologized for honestly, because I was just saying sorry. I should have thought better. It was some bullshit, whatever. Tuesday comes around, and I finished my finals for Tuesday, so I leave. And I end up leaving home leaving school early. And that Tuesday, what basically happened was I offered to give her a ride home because at this point most mornings I would take her to school, and most days after, or like most afternoons, I'd go from school. I'd drop her off at her house, and then I'd go home. And I'm like, oh, by the way, do you need me to give you a ride? And she was like, no, I'm fine. I was like, are you sure? Or how else are you gonna get home? And she said, oh, I'm not gonna go home after school anyways. I have tutorials. I was like, oh, tutorials are in final week. Okay. And I was already kind of skeptical. And I asked, what tutorials do you have? She says, I have geometry tutorials. And the thing is, at my school, the geometry teacher was the soccer coach, and soccer had like an away game that day. So that's when I knew she was lying. But I didn't assume the worst at all. And I I I thought she just needed space. So I was like, I believed her. I was like, okay, I guess, yeah, I believe you, whatever. Like, I knew she was lying, but I was like, yeah, that's fine, okay. And then after school rolls around, again, we dismiss at 3:50. I check her location at, like, around 4:20 to, like, make sure she got home safe, or after tours or whatnot. I see she's in, like, the back of the school parking lot. So, I trusted her so much, so like I didn't immediately jump to, that, but I got a bit worried. Obviously, I started texting her. She's not responding at all. Like, it's just delivered. So at this point, I take my mom's car and I go to her location. And I go to her location, and she was in Josh's car, and I don't want to not put her business, but y'all can use your heads there. And we didn't even say anything to each other. I just got to her location, and I park like her car's facing like this, and I park like right here, like we're facing each other. And she gets out of the car, and then I get out of the car, and we're both just standing next to each other's cars, like about like a row of parking away from each other, because I didn't want to like pull up right next to them or whatever, because I wanted to see what they were doing first. And we just make eye contact. Like, in that moment, I felt every feeling at once. I felt mad at her. I felt mad about her ruining our relationship. I felt so sad because she had just like killed our future. Like, whatever we could have had together, we won't, because of the bullshit that I just walked in on. Like, I just felt everything at once. I don't know how to describe it. We just stood there. We just stood there and looked at each other. I got back in my car and I drove away. like that, those. My bad. Trying not to cry. Those few moments when we were like locking eyes, there was like it was like we were having a conversation, but without any words. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's like we were talking, but we weren't saying words. It was just we were just like understanding each other, and we both like we came to like a conclusion that Abby, you fucked up, and because of this, we're done. Like, and you killed our future. You killed us. You killed me and you killed Adonis. And yeah, like those few moments when we were standing there, I swear, it was like my whole world came crashing down, dude. Like Abby was my everything at this point. I don't know if I'll ever like the connection between me and Abby, the connection between Abby and my mom, the connection between Abby and my dad. Everything. I don't know if I can ever find that in another girl. And even if I do, I don't know if I can find that in another girl without it being reminding of Abby. And I feel like obviously I can't read her mind, but I feel like we both understood that in that moment, that this had just ruined us. And I was sad it was so weird. I was sad for a second. And I was just filled with like anger and hate. And all of like these different like negative, furious emotions toward Abby, towards Josh, towards myself for taking that ride, towards myself for texting Trisha that night. I was just mad and everything. So I just take the car, I go back home. My mom's obviously pissed. I tell her, thankfully she shows mercy after I told her what I took the car for and like what happened. She was like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. And that whole day I was just, after it happened and I got back home, I told my mom what happened. My mom told my dad. And I was just trying to distract myself. I remember I was sitting in my room, I was scrolling through Depop and DHgate for like Jordan 4s or some shit. Some random bullshit. I was just sitting there as if nothing had happened. And at this point, Abby's been like blowing up my phone, text after text after text, trying to like defend herself, saying like, I'm sorry, it was an accident, blah blah blah. You know what, like typical bullshit. And then I remember, this was all on, I'm pretty sure like December 9th. It was on the Tuesday of that week, December 19th, December 8th, something like that. And I remember after a bit, my parents come up and my mom asked me, so what happened? Like, are you and Abby done? And I saw it in her face that she knew what Abby did was wrong, but she was confused on how to feel about Abby too, because again, they had such an amazing relationship. They had a really, really, really great relationship. And like, my parents truly loved Abby. And they came up and my mom asked me like, so what did you say to Abby? And I told her like, I haven't responded yet, but we're done. And she says like, okay, that's good, you know. She she cheated on you, you shouldn't be with a cheater, whatnot. And another thing, the thing that like really, really like made me so mad at her and her actions, it wasn't just the fact that she had ruined our future. She ruined like my parents' future in a sense, because like I don't know, at least in my culture, like getting married is like, at least for a boy, it's like great, you know, like in like Desi culture, because I'm like from Bangladesh, right? So like South Asian and all that. Oh my god, I'm sorry. You know, like weddings are like a big thing. You know, finding the right person, it's like a big thing. Matchmaking and all that. And I could see like their vision of our future together in their head had just crumbled down too, and that killed me, dude. And I've only seen my dad cry twice in my entire life. Once when his mom died, like my grandma, and I saw him cry once during that, and I saw him cry. I saw him cry again that night. I saw him cry again that night because Abby would no longer be his daughter or like be in our lives. And I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know what. That just like, it made me like feel feelings of hatred that I've never felt toward anybody, let alone Abby. Like the first day or two, I didn't cry at all. I wasn't sad. I was so mad at her. Not just, oh, you cheated. It wasn't as simple as that. It wasn't just, oh, you cheated. It's, oh, you ruined our future. Oh, you ruined my parents. Like the one girl I've ever showed to my parents, you fucked that up. Oh, it was, oh, you fucked up you and my mom's and my dad's relationship, and oh, like you fucked up like my parents' like imagination of what we could have been, and mine's too. Like all those late night talks about like, oh, how many kids we're gonna have, where we're gonna buy our house after we get fancy cool jobs, after college, and how many kids we're gonna have, what kind of rules we're gonna put on our kids, what we're gonna name our kids. Like our entire life that we'd been building up and planning and talking about for the last, what, 14, 15 months, it's all like in the gutter. It means nothing now. Because why? Because I don't think I specified this. She was in the car with Josh. Yeah, the same Josh. But and I remember I was mainly just on the offensive side. I was just saying like, Abby, why the fuck would you do something like this, to her texts and stuff. And I remember I find like, instead of just being mean, I finally like wrote out in like really long text about like how I really felt, like the day after, like the night of the day after, like Wednesday night when this happened on like a Tuesday, I think. And that's when I finally like cried about it. And because in that text I vented to her about everything. Like, you know, I told her about like how she had ruined her future and the stuff with my parents and then my dad crying. My dad crying. I know I'm downplaying it, but like that was a really big thing. Like I've never seen that man cry. I've seen him cry twice. Like literally his mom dying and Abby leaving. Their relationship was to that point where to him it was like his daughter had left him. His daughter had died in his eyes. It was, yeah, it was bad. And yeah, was horrible. And in that text, I like said all that stuff, and then I told her how I really felt, how insanely mad I was at her for fucking up our life together. And all she could say was she was sorry. I mean, I get it, like, what else can you say? But she just kept saying that she was sorry over and over again. And and the weird thing is, I was so mad at her for all of that, but after like a couple, like 3-4 days, I'd say, I still loved her, and I still wanted to be with her, but at the same time I did it because like she cheated on me, right? Like I shouldn't want to talk to her. I shouldn't want anything to do with her at all. But I still really loved her. And I remember, like, we went at school, we had a class together, and during that class, she had, like, it was a chill class, so we were, like, allowed, like, free roam. During that class, she had stepped out of class, and she was, like, sitting in the hallway, like, listening to music or something, and I came out, and I gave her a hug. I don't know why, but I just, like, saw her, and I gave her a hug, and she started crying. And I don't know why I don't hate her, dude. Like, I feel like I should hate her. I feel like I should want nothing to do with her, which at times I do. Like, at times I'm like, okay, fuck her, she cheated on me, we'll move on, it's fine. And then, but like 80% of the other time, it's just like, I should let it slide, and it's not worth throwing away our life over. But then I think it's not me that threw it away, it's her that threw it away. But I'm the one that's like continuously, because like she wanted to get back together after that, and she asked me like multiple times, like, I'm sorry, can we please work it out? And I kept saying like, no, we're done, like, you cheated, that's like, it's like the worst thing you could do, right? And so I kept thinking to myself, like, at this point, it's like me that's throwing it away. But it's not, because I'm throwing it away because of what she did, right? Like, I don't know. And we've been like talking as friends or whatever, like not as like dating, because this happened 3 weeks ago now, almost. And for these last 3 weeks, we've been talking like, just as friends, and I haven't like found anybody else or anything that's not like that at all. But and like it's been 3 weeks, but her shit, like the stuff she's given me that I've like put around my room, I haven't been able to take it down like that. Drawing of our first kiss, it's still, I'll show y'all. It's been sitting there for almost like since she's given it to me. And I still haven't been able to like take it down or anything. And then over here, like right behind y'all on my desk, I have Adonis and then a Lego set she gave me. It's like a small little crab named Hermit. And this, I love cars, right? She knows that, so she got me a Mustang Hot Wheels for one of our months. And I can't move it. I can't, like, I've tried putting it all the way into like the box that like I keep her notes in and stuff. It's like a little storage box. I've tried taking it up, putting it there. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm throwing her away, but I feel like I should. Like, I feel like I should throw her away. Like, shouldn't be holding on to somebody that like cheated on me and hurt my family in such a way, but I just can't. And like Adonis too, like he's been on my desk, and on top of my mirror, like I kept like everything she gave me. She gave me a rock once. I'll show you. I have this rock she gave me for like one of her months because she thought it was pretty, and it is a pretty rock. And it's been up there with like our little Hoko candle. And this bracelet, I know it sounds dirty, but I've been wearing this bracelet she gave me for like 6 months. I shower with, I do everything with it. It's just like a plain like Dollar Tree bead bracelet, but it's like small shit like that. I just can't. I try to like bring myself to like forget about her and get rid of her and like take her out of my life. I just can't. And we're talking as friends, and like all of my friends said, no, dude, cut her off. I can't. Like, when I don't talk to her, I don't know. And it's like, I don't know if y'all seen those TikToks that's like from fucking strangers to friends to lovers to strangers again. Like, me and Abby used to make fun of those TikToks and be like, oh, that'll never be us. But it's to the point where if we don't talk, that's gonna be us. Like, we were so in love and so locked in, and we're just gonna be strangers if we don't get back together. But I don't know if I should get back together. I don't know if I want to. I don't know what I want, bro. And like, we had like a conversation about 3 days ago, and basically she was saying like that she loves me a lot, and that if we're not gonna get back together, she doesn't want to keep talking to me because she thinks that like me talking to her is like me being still attached to her and shit, and I should move on, which I agree. But so we agreed to be no contact like forever, and then I just couldn't do it. I went like, oh gosh, I went a day. No, I went 2 days, and then the night of the second day at like 2 in the morning, I texted her and I was like, is it okay if I check up on you every once in a while? And she's just like, yeah. And now we're right back to like talking basically regularly. Like, it's like I want to escape her, but I also don't want to escape her. Like, I don't know what the fuck I want. What I want is like a fucking time machine to like go back and like stop it from ever happening. But that's not possible. And I feel like a fucking jackass because I want a future with her, but I'm like the one that's like continuously like saying no to her to get back together and stuff. So I guess it's like me that's like stopping her future, but that's not right, is it? Like, it's her. I don't know. I think that's all. I think that's everything. Sorry, I got a bit emotional there at the end, my fault. But I've been talking to a computer for 2 hours. But yeah. Anyways, that's me and Abby for you. Hope you enjoyed. And I hope y'all can maybe learn something from this. I don't know what you would learn, but if you can take away anything, if you can give any advice. I don't even know if who's gonna see this or if anybody's gonna see it, but just yeah. So I'm not learning anything from the situation.
if y'all do, it's great. And obviously, I wish each and every single one of you watching this, like, true love at some point. Because honestly, I love money as much as the next person, but what's money if you're just, like, alone, right? So I feel like a relationship and, like, a true connection with another person is, like, the richest, wealthiest thing you can have. So I wish that upon anybody that's watching this video. And think if you're still here, you're fucking crazy. But if you are, also thank you for listening to me on my little rant. And I mean, my DMs are open and shit if you want to say anything about the situation. I'll put my Insta in the fucking bio or some shit. It's like 3 in the morning. I need to go to sleep too. So, good night. Love all of you. Jesus loves all of you.